Breaking. 50 Cent just dropped the kind of footage that makes the internet stop breathing for a second, and trust me, this ain't your average celebrity tea. We're talking about Busta Rhymes, Orlando Brown, and a couple of fresh-faced young rappers caught in what can only be described as the most unholy hip-hop sleepover of all time. I said it, and you're gonna want to sit all the way down for this one. Because once you hear what's on this tape, you're gonna be side-eyeing your entire playlist. I mean, have you ever wondered what really happens when the cameras are off? The club lights go dark and the VIP doors swing shut. Why does 50 Cent look like he's been waiting years to drop this? And more importantly, why does the footage look like something straight out of a Bet Uncut episode that even Bet would refuse to air? This isn't just scandal, this is career-ending. Award-snatching, sponsorships, fretting madness. And it's dripping with all the messy receipts the internet lives for. Oh, you think you've heard rumors about Busta before? Cute! Because what you're about to hear makes those rumors sound like bedtime stories. You ever notice how when 50 Cent decides to leak something, it is never just a casual drop, but a calculated detonation that shakes the internet to its core. And this time, he might have just lit the kind of fire that could burn through every corner of the hip-hop industry, because according to the loudest whispers in every online back alley, he is sitting on a piece of footage so scandalous that even the boldest rappers have suddenly gone radio silent, like they are afraid the algorithm might catch them watching it, and the names attached to this alleged clip are not exactly the kind you would expect to see in the same headline, unless you are writing the plot for a wild parody movie, because in this case, the star of the show is none other than Busta Rhymes, a legend in the game for decades, who built his name on high-energy performances and tongue-twisting bars, but who has also had more than a few eyebrow-raising moments in his career, and now he is allegedly sharing screen time in this mysterious leak with Orlando Brown, the former Disney child star turned walking viral moment, whose interviews have been stranger than fiction for years. And if that is not already chaotic enough, the story goes that there are also a couple of young up-and-coming rappers in the mix who supposedly thought they were showing up for a studio session, but instead ended up in a situation so off-brand for a debut that people are questioning if their careers will even survive long enough to drop a single. And the way insiders describe this footage, it is not your usual grainy TMZ in the parking lot type of clip. No, this is said to be shot in full ultra-high definition. Multiple angles, crystal clear audio, so sharp you could hear the air conditioning humming in the background, and the setting apparently looks like something straight out of a luxury lifestyle magazine, a plush, dimly lit recording studio in downtown Los Angeles, dripping with top-shelf liquor bottles. In every corner, clouds of something herbal in the air, and a suspiciously placed velvet couch that looks like it has witnessed more scandals than an awards show after party. And while no one outside of 50's inner circle has laid eyes on the full footage, the buzz alone has been enough to send social media into meltdown, with every major gossip account posting cryptic teasers and reaction memes without actually showing anything, because they know one wrong move could have lawyers at their door faster than you can say cease and desist. And of course, being 50 Cent, he has not outright confirmed anything, but has been dropping the kind of petty breadcrumbs he is famous for, like vague captions about exposure season and never trust a quiet room, while conveniently tagging no one, but somehow making it obvious who the targets are. And this has led to an avalanche of speculation, with people digging through old interviews and behind-the-scenes rumors to see if there were ever hints that Busta and Orlando even knew each other, let alone were close enough to be caught in whatever compromising situation this video is said to show. And just to add gasoline to the gossip fire, there are now unverified claims from anonymous sources that this is not a one-off incident, but part of a series of wild late-night studio parties where phones are supposed to be banned, and yet somehow footage still exists, which is where the theories start to spiral, because some are saying this is 50's personal revenge move against people who crossed him in the past, while others think he is just stirring the pot to set up a new project because, let's be real, nobody works the publicity machine like Curtis Jackson. And meanwhile, the alleged young rappers in the video have become a mystery subplot of their own, with internet detectives trying to match blurry stills and outfit descriptions to any newcomer who has recently been seen around Busta or Orlando, and the potential fallout for them could be career-ending before their careers even start because nobody wants their debut single overshadowed by a viral scandal that has nothing to do with their music. And as for Orlando Brown, the man has been in the headlines for some of the wildest soundbites in celebrity history, so the idea of him being at the center of another internet firestorm barely surprises anyone, but the fact that this involves big names and alleged physical receipts has made even his most loyal defenders go unusually quiet in the way. The hip-hop blogs are milking every scrap of this story. It feels like the prelude to a full-scale media circus, and if history has taught us anything about 50 Cent, it is that he will not drop something like this unless he is ready to watch the entire internet stop what it is doing to react in real time, and that alone has people on edge, checking his socials every hour just in case he decides to pull the trigger and unleash the clip that could turn an already messy rumor into a full-blown cultural moment. And now with every passing hour, the whispers are getting louder because certain people in the industry who usually thrive on attention have suddenly gone ghost, which in this business is almost like an admission that something is very wrong. And the strangest part is how many different versions of this alleged TOS footage are already floating around in the rumor mill. Like, some are saying the clip is only a few minutes long, showing a heated argument that suddenly turns into something way more intimate, while others swear it is a full-blown after-hours session that leaves nothing to the imagination, and the fact that no one can actually produce it publicly yet has only made people hungrier to believe it exists. And of course, that is exactly how 50 Cent operates, because he knows the suspense will do more damage than the actual video ever could. And the deeper you dig, the more bizarre it gets, because now people are bringing up old festival appearances where Busta Rhymes and Orlando Brown were spotted in the same VIP area years ago, which at the time seemed random, but now feels like the first puzzle piece in a much bigger picture. And there are even grainy screenshots circulating, supposedly taken from security cameras outside a Hollywood studio, showing what looks like a black port SUV pulling up with Busta stepping out, and a few minutes later Orlando arriving in a hoodie with his face half covered, which would be suspicious enough. But then a third car shows up, dropping off two young men who fit the vague descriptions of the mystery rappers everyone has been trying to identify. And if these blurry images are real, then that would line up perfectly with the timeline certain insiders are now claiming. But again, none of this is officially confirmed, which only makes the conspiracy theories grow. Because when information is this scarce, people start connecting dots that might not even belong to the same picture. And in the middle of all this chaos, social media has become a war zone, with fan bases clashing in the comments, defending their favorite artists, while also demanding answers. And every post from 50 is now treated like a cryptic clue, with his followers dissecting captions like they are decoding a ransom note. And one post in particular set off a firestorm, where he shared a picture of a velvet couch almost identical to the one described by supposed insiders, with nothing but the words "heavy lies the cushion" under it, which might seem harmless to someone out of the loop, but to the gossip-addicted side of the internet, it was basically a confession. And this has pushed people to dig into the history between these names, because while it is no secret that 50 has been known to hold grudges and play the long game in getting payback, the question becomes, why Busta Rhymes, and why now? And some claim this might trace back to a behind-the-scenes disagreement over a festival slot years ago, where 50 was allegedly bumped for Busta to headline a primetime spot. And though that might sound petty to outsiders, anyone who knows this industry understands that in ego-driven circles, that kind of move can stick in your head for decades. And as for Orlando Brown, well, 50 has never had a public issue with him, but his constant viral antics and unpredictable interviews make him an easy target for being part of a bigger trolling master plan, and the mystery rappers remain the wild card here. Because depending on who they are, this could be the career equivalent of a nuclear blast, and there is already unconfirmed talk that at least one of them has wiped his Instagram clean in the last 48 hours. Which in today's world is basically a digital panic button, and behind the scenes, there are whispers that a few high-profile PR teams are working overtime trying to prepare statements, just in case the footage actually sees daylight, which is telling because if nothing was real, there would be nothing to prepare for. And yet the preparation is happening, and the more people try to shut down the story, the more it spreads. Because nothing makes the public want something more than being told they cannot have it. And now, even some old associates of these artists are jumping into the mix with shady one-liners on podcasts and live streams, hinting that they know the truth, without ever spelling it out, which keeps the tension at boiling point. And meanwhile, 50 is just sitting back watching the chaos. He sparked turn into a self-sustaining firestorm, because every time the conversation starts to slow, he drops another subtle poke to keep it alive. And the scary part for the people involved is that no one really knows when or if he will actually release the footage, because 50 is the kind of man who will let you sweat for months before making his move. And in that time, public opinion can turn brutally against you even without proof. And when that happens, the damage is already done, and reputations in this business are not easy to repair once the internet has decided to turn you into a meme, which is why the silence from Busta Rhymes and Orlando Brown is starting to feel heavier with each passing day. Because if there was truly nothing here to worry about, you would think they would at least drop a dismissive joke or a denial. But instead, it is nothing but crickets. And in the world of celebrity scandals, that kind of quiet is the loudest noise you can make. But the strangest twist in all this is that the longer the silence lasts, the more people are starting to believe there is an even bigger layer to this story that no one has dared to touch yet, because insiders are now whispering about some kind of off-the-books after-party held at a private Beverly Hills mansion the same night the alleged footage was supposedly filmed. And this is where it gets almost cinematic, because apparently the guest list for that night reads like a who's who of the music industry mixed with random reality TV stars and even a few political names who have no reason to be in the same room together unless something way more secretive was going on. And if that is true, then we are talking about a potential scandal that would blow far beyond just the music world and into the kind of territory where lawyers start making phone calls before breakfast and security footage mysteriously disappears overnight. And what really feeds into this suspicion is that one of the supposed mystery rappers has reportedly been spotted meeting with a very high-profile crisis management team, whose specialty is sweeping digital messes under the rug before they explode. And anyone who knows how these teams operate understands they do not come cheap, and they do not get called unless the problem is already bad enough to tank a career. And while all this is unfolding, 50 Cent is still out here posting memes and trolling captions that make it impossible to tell whether he is days away from dropping the actual footage or if he is just enjoying watching the industry panic. But either way, the damage is being done because fans are creating their own fake edits and reaction videos pretending they have seen the footage. And even though most of them are clearly staged, the more they circulate, the harder it is for casual viewers to separate reality from fabrication. And in that haze of uncertainty, the reputation hit becomes permanent whether or not the original clip ever surfaces. And some bloggers have even gone as far as claiming the footage is already being shopped privately to certain outlets for a ridiculous price tag, and that one gossip site supposedly turned it down, not because it was fake, but because the legal risk of airing it was too high, which, if true, says a lot about how explosive it might be. And Then there are the bizarre financial rumors swirling around Busta Rhymes, with some anonymous Twitter accounts claiming that large amounts of money have been moving through shell companies tied to him in the past week, allegedly to pay for keeping certain parties quiet, and whether that is even remotely accurate, the timing is enough to send conspiracy theorists into overdrive, because they see it as a desperate attempt to put the genie back in the bottle. But anyone who understands how the internet works knows that once a story like this gets momentum, it is like trying to stop a tidal wave with a sandcastle. And now some old rivals of both Busta and Orlando are popping up in interviews, claiming that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and that there are even older stories that never saw the light of day. Which makes people wonder if 50 has more than one ace up his sleeve waiting to be played, and if he does, then this could turn into one of those slow burn sagas that drags on for months with new twists every week. And that is the kind of thing he thrives on, because he understands better than anyone that in the modern entertainment game, attention is currency. And if you can keep the world talking about you, even for the wrong reasons, you win. And as absurd as it sounds, there is a growing camp of fans who believe that Busta and Orlando might actually try to flip this entire scandal into a PR stunt by eventually doing some wild joint appearance, or even a track that pretends to laugh it off. But that kind of gamble can backfire in ways you cannot predict, because once an audience decides you are guilty of something, no amount of humor can erase the image they already have in their head. And the irony in all this is that we might be witnessing one of the most perfectly engineered troll jobs in recent entertainment history, where the mere suggestion of a scandal is enough to create all the chaos without any real evidence ever needing to be shown. And in that sense, 50 might have already won without lifting another finger, because the seed has been planted. And it is growing faster than anyone can control, and now the question is whether he will choose to pour gasoline on it by actually dropping the video, or if he will just let the mystery breathe until it becomes legend. And the thought of that is driving both the fans and the people allegedly involved insane, because every day that passes without a resolution is another day their names are trending for all the wrong reasons. And in an industry where relevance is everything, there is a fine line between being talked about and being unbookable. And if they cross it, there is no way back. And maybe that is exactly the game 50 is playing. Because for him, chaos is sport, and he knows the world will keep watching until the very last second just to see if the rumors were true all along. So what do you think? Is 50 Cent just stirring the pot for kicks? Or is there a bombshell about to drop that will change the game forever? Are Busta Rhymes and Orlando Brown caught in a web so tangled that no PR team can save them? Or is this just another classic industry stunt designed to keep us all watching and guessing? Drop your hottest takes and wildest theories down in the comments, because we want to hear every juicy detail you think is being hidden behind closed doors. Don't hold back now. This is your moment to spill the tea or defend your favorite artist. Who knows? Maybe your comment will be the spark that lights the next viral debate. If you're here for the real, raw, and unfiltered truth, make sure to hit that like button so this story gets the attention it deserves. And hey, if you want to stay ahead of every explosive update, every shady move, and every behind-the-scenes secret, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a beat. Trust me, with scandals like these, you're going to want to be front row when the next chapter unfolds. Stay tuned and stay curious.